Hong Kong has many political issues, many that may never be solved. One of the biggest issues in Hong Kong that they have been dealing with for quite some time is the housing leaving millions of people homeless. Something that is hard for many to understand is that the issue is continuing to grow, but is still not being touched on nor talked about to move forward on finding a conclusion to this problem. The issue also results in the decrease of land supply, leaving very little land for more development for Hong Kong. Something that also can be causing leaving these people in Hong Kong homeless is the environmental issues that are taking place all over the country. One of the major causes is the pollution in Hong Kong, especially their air pollution due to overly crowded transportation. One of the most common things you hear about Hong Kong is the crazy driving and the amount of cars you see on the roads. And it's not just regular, everyday, basic cars, but it's the cars that are transportation for companies, especially the commercial vehicles. They have taken part in the air pollution significantly. Something Hong Kong can no longer take is any increase in their population, and their country is experiencing the worst nightmare. The population continuously grows in Hong Kong and is affecting the country in a negative way. Many of the issues that they are dealing with usually results back to being an overpopulated country. Hong Kong needs to buckle down and start taking the new development plan more seriously, or Hong Kong will be facing a high increase in additional problems. The government has made many multiple efforts to improve the environment. The government has proposed what is known as the Strategic Sewage Development Strategy. The strategy plan is what's going to improve the water quality of Hong Kong and deterioration of the marine water. There's also been another proposal for the air pollution from the transportation motors. The proposal is to ensure that all taxis run on LPG instead of diesel, which is what they all run on now and is the key player to the Hong Kong's air pollution. Hong Kong has something called the EPD, which is a group that controls a sustainability and environmental issue. But there is only so much they can promote and they can do. The government is going to promote a developmental and cultural to bring awareness to the cultural numbers of one priority to be the best that they can be. Hong Kong has many issues, but overall the main issue is the problem that their leader is facing, and not one being able to focus all their attention to, the important issue that is destroying the country. Something that Lam is facing and putting all of her focus on right now is the people of Hong Kong. Their freedom and human rights are now something that they are really struggling with. Lam adds, this is a constitutional responsibility, and there have been some attempts from the administration that would create a condition. Hong Kong needs to enact these laws even though the hardliners throughout the government might gain an upper hand, but it's what they need for taking charge. Also, in a result of that, Hong Kong is facing a huge problem of inequality with the growing of wealth gap. Leading back to what I said before, the prices of housing continues to rise and continues to put people out on the streets. Lam says she is going to move forward working on diversity of the Hong Kong economy so they can provide more opportunities for young people and inject as many innovative thinking as possible into the housing market. Leading back to visiting Hong Kong, there are many places that are so much better and higher end. The first place that I have is the Peak. The first place you should stop when you're in Hong Kong is the Peak. It's the place where you will find in the freshest air of the entire city. The Peak is the highest point of Hong Kong Island that is accessible to rich people, but also others of the city and tourists as well. Back in the day, only the poor people were never able to be exposed to the fresh air. It was only for minorities. The Peak is where you will find the best view overlooking the entire city of Hong Kong. It is the vantage point. It's a very calming place. You can feel the crisp in the air and the relaxation of the silence. Just below, you can hear a slight humming from the busy cities that stand below the Peak. The next place I have is the Wong Tai Sin Temple. A place to visit and to have your actual wishes come true is the Siksik Yuan Wong Tai Sin. It's a temple where the people go to have a wish come true upon their request. This is the home to three major religions, Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. It's a very scenic attraction also due to the importance of its religion center. Wong Tai Sin was born in the 4th century of and became deity of Hong Shan. Another place to visit is the Clock Tower. The Clock Tower was erected in 1915 as a part of the Kualin-Canton Railway. The clock tower is declared to be preserved as a monument. It has survived and is known as the Age of Steam. Many Chinese immigrants who pass through the terminus to begin their new lives. They look at the clock tower as a memorable landmark. There are many places to eat in Hong Kong, but some of the ones that I found were the most main visited by Americans. The Aberdeen is the first ever made floating restaurant. It's right on the lake, and it literally overlooks the whole entire skyscraper of Hong Kong and the traditional junks. It is a popular seafood dining spot and home to Jumbo Kingdom. It's designed as a Chinese place, and it seats up to almost 2,300 diners. The restaurant also has an outdoor tea garden and serves high-quality traditional Chinese modern food. A very popular place to eat, and no Hong Kong trip would be complete without its Lee Garden. It's a very reasonable price, and it is where all the celebrities have visited, and this food place is very well known even in America. Where to stay? The Matara Hotel is one of the top hotels in Hong Kong. It's modern in the heart of the city. All hotel rooms overlook the entire city of Hong Kong, and all tourist spots are no more than 15 minutes away. It is also just a 10-minute taxi ride from the airport. And that is my trip to Hong Kong.